So here's an interesting situation for you. After months of desperately trying to get your ex back, sending those text messages, making those calls, maybe even showing up at their place unannounced, they kept rejecting you. But the moment you finally started giving up and focusing on yourself, well, suddenly they reach out wanting to talk. Look, if you're still hoping to rekindle things with your ex, you might be wondering, why the hell does this happen? And more importantly, how can you use this knowledge to actually get them back? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. So let's start with the 3 main reasons why exes often come back when you stop wanting them back. The first reason is pretty simple but crucial. You're no longer chasing them. So the theory goes that when you're fresh out of a breakup, still madly in love, you want to do everything in your power to get your ex back. But here's a painful fact: that desperation is probably what's been killing your chances. I mean, just think about it. Every time you texted them first, every time you begged for another chance, every time you tried to convince them you've changed, you were subcommunicating something really unattractive. You were essentially telling them, hey, I value you more than I value myself. And nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to be with someone who doesn't value themselves. The second reason is that you have probably grown as a person. And this is the beautiful irony of letting go. The moment you stop obsessing over your ex and start focusing on yourself, well, that's the moment you actually become more attractive to them. You essentially hit the gym, you advance in your career, you, expand your social circle, maybe you even start dating other people. You essentially become a more well-rounded, confident human being. And then your ex notices this transformation. They see you posting, let's say, on social media, they hear about you through mutual friends, or they just sense the change in your energy when they occasionally run into you. And suddenly they remember what attracted them to you in the first place. But now you're an even better version of that person, and that's just another reason why they get even more attracted and they start to get interested in you again. And the third reason is what I call the fading affect bias. Basically, when your ex doesn't hear from you anymore, their negative memories of the relationship, they start to fade faster than the positive ones. So instead of remembering all your fights and your incompatibilities, they start reminiscing about the good times you shared, your first date, the inside jokes, that amazing vacation you took together. Now here's where most breakup advice gets it wrong, in my opinion. A lot of people, they tell you, just move on and focus on yourself, and your ex will come running back. Well, that is partially true. It is missing a crucial point. You need to be strategic about how you let go. Now you might be thinking, you've tried everything in terms of focusing on yourself and it didn't work. Well, here's the thing. There is a massive difference between actually focusing on yourself and then just pretending to focus on yourself while you secretly hope your ex notices. Let me break this down because it's crucial. When most people try the whole focus on yourself thing, they're still checking their phone every 5 minutes, stalking their ex's social media and asking for updates. And that's just not focusing on yourself. That's just obsessing about your ex with extra steps. What's even worse is when people try to use self-improvement as a manipulation tactic. So they post gym selfies hoping their ex will see them. They share photos with other people trying to make their ex jealous. They craft this perfect social media presence thinking it will convince their ex to come back. But here's the problem. Your ex can notice that inauthenticity from a mile away. They know you're not really living your best life, you're just trying to convince them you are. Especially if you, for example, never posted on social media before and suddenly you start posting a bunch of these updates, exciting updates. And then that desperation, that need to prove yourself, well, that's exactly what's keeping your ex away from you. Real self-improvement, the kind that actually attracts your ex back, it's not about them at all. It's all about looking in the mirror and being honest with yourself about what needs to change. not for them, not for your next relationship, but for you. If you genuinely want your ex back, here's what you need to do, okay? First, you need to adopt what I call authentic detachment. Now, this means genuinely accepting your ex might never come back, while still leaving the door open for reconciliation. And no, this is not about playing games or pretending you don't care. It's actually about just being okay with losing them. Second, you need to focus on self-improvement, but not for your ex, but for yourself. Because the moment you start working out, advancing your career, or developing new hobbies just to impress your ex, that's the moment where you've probably already lost. They will sense that ulterior motive from you a mile away, and everything's going to blow up in your face. So instead, improve yourself because you genuinely want to become a better person. Third, when your ex does reach out, if they reach out, don't just jump back into a relationship, into something serious. This is where most people fuck up. They get a text from their ex and they immediately fall into old patterns, old bad habits. Instead, I want you to take it slow. Be warm, but not over-eager. Fourth, use something I call the vulnerability paradox. So when you do interact with your ex, just be completely honest about your feelings, but without any expectations. So for example, if you still have feelings for them, don't hide it, but also make it clear that you're not waiting around for them. And finally, maintain strong personal boundaries. So if your ex wants to get back together, make sure it's on your terms too. Don't accept breadcrumbs or half-hearted attempts at reconciliation. Remember, you don't want to be the same person who was desperately chasing after them a month or a week ago. Now here's the thing about getting an ex back in general. It often happens when you're genuinely ready to let them go. Not when you're pretending to let them go, not when you're trying to make them jealous, but when you've actually done the inner work to be okay without them. Now, whether or not you can actually mend a relationship at that point, that depends on more factors, right? It depends on compatibility, whether your ex was toxic, and of course, if they're ready to actually get into a healthy relationship and whether they're fully developed or developed adequately, developed enough personally to actually get into a relationship with you and make it work. Now, regardless, if you're serious about getting your ex back the right way, what at least I think is the right way, you're free to download my free reattraction cheat sheet. It's a one-page resource that basically outlines my entire ex-back approach, my entire process for mending a relationship step by step. If you want to download this resource, just go and hit the link below this video inside of the video description. And with that being said, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and take care.